Hello everybody, this is Pojo, and we're just going to be doing a little bit of talking today. We're going to be talking about moving around the map, jetpack management, and just sort of like how sort of things work in that area. Okay, so as you can see we're on orbital drill, and I just sort of want to talk a little bit about lanes and how there are certain areas on the map that you can sort of use as jumping off points to move around efficiently. So, as you know, this is orbital drill. There's some pretty obvious places that you can go, but if you walk down here and actually jump down along this route, then you've kind of got a long run that you got to go through where you've got walls on either side. Mammoth birds spawn in here. Sometimes you have armadons. Reavers tend to get at you. Basically, there's a lot of different sort of obstacles that sort of force your path and force you down particular lanes, which you don't have very good visibility. You can't see a lot of the map, so if you wanted to make your way down to, say, the beach over here, you have to pay attention to the reavers. You have to avoid all of the just everything that's going on over here. Yeah, it looks like the map is pretty empty. I might have wildlife turned a little low, but yeah, if an armadon comes at you, then you're gonna have to waste a lot of jetpack getting away from it. And then it might get your teammates behind you, you know, that sort of thing. So that's all stuff that, you know, you have to pay attention to. Is there a cupcake in here? Sometimes there's, yeah, okay. In any case. So yeah, let's talk about taking this drop from a different point. So when I drop down, there's a bunch of different places I might want to go. I might want to follow those tracks, for example, but let's say that I'm just trying to track a quick path to the beach, and we're using jetpack recharge here. Now, instead of going down sort of these lower, just basically in-between areas, what I actually can do is just hop carefully from place to place. And without using too much jetpack, I can actually maneuver along this way, hop over here, and voila, I'm on top of one of the tallest areas. I can actually run down this section if I want to, or I can jump off and go over here. Basically, everywhere in Evolve, there are a series of, interconnected platforms. Sometimes there's longer spaces than you'd like, but they do exist, and quite often that's the key to moving around the map efficiently. You just want to take these high roads and figure out ways to sort of, use them to your advantage to get good vision of the map, see all of those tracks, and all of those things that you might miss otherwise, and then just, hop over to them. It doesn't take a lot of jetpack. Mostly what you have to keep in mind is that anytime that you're not making a big jump, you should be planning for your next one, meaning you should be keeping your paws off of the jetpack and letting it recharge. Now, there are a couple of different ways to do these jumps. For example, if you take a big leap like this, you can land right over here and just above the lip of the cliff, and you'll keep your current momentum. But if you've got a slightly longer jump and you don't want to burn too much jetpack, you can do something like aim for the lip of the cliff, like so. And when that happens, your character will haul himself up using a special animation. And all you gotta do is tap the spacebar for that. This is really especially useful because, when you've got a short hop like this, very easy to just sort of pop up and not have any issues. You can also do it with stuff like crates without using any jetpack whatsoever. Yeah, right here, see? Alright, let's piss off this monster a little bit, throw the dome and let it go. We'll see if he runs. Okay, yeah, he's gonna bail, cool. So yeah, you'll see that there are these staircase-like things here, designed for specifically that. You can actually move up surfaces and get some verticality without using any jetpack whatsoever. Another important thing to talk about is momentum. So, you've got essentially two ways that you can burn fuel. You can burn fuel in a controlled burst like this, which will get you lots of height, but it won't really do much for you. Or you can wait until your jetpack has recharged to one of those bars and burst forward. When that happens, you're carried forward by momentum, so essentially, if you're up higher and you use a jetpack burst, it'll carry you forward on momentum, and you'll actually travel further than you would just, essentially walking. and you'll go at a pretty decent speed, too. Okay, so... up. Now, of course, you can use this to your advantage because when you're just lightly tapping on the jetpack like this, that continues your current momentum and adds just a little bit extra to it. So you can feather your jetpack to make longer jumps. And there you go. I double tapped at the end there when I was trying to grab this lip, but that's okay. Didn't really matter too much. And I think if I'm good enough at this jump, I can actually do it without using any jetpack whatsoever. Let's see. Yep, like that. So, for example, if I burned up almost all of my jetpack and I wanted it to recharge, I could do something like just make this jump, and voila, there we go. Another thing to note is that if you're falling off the lip of a cliff like this, if you do it at the right time, I believe it gets you just a little extra forward momentum. That's another nice little thing. These sort of little pillars here in the area, this is actually good for both monsters and hunters. You can climb up them and just get a slight leap off them. You can't stand there, but you can get a jump, which is fairly useful if you're wanting to like move around on the high places. So for example, I could go over here, and I don't know if this one's climbable. Yep, it is. And then I could jump off and just that kind of thing. That was a really terrible jump and wasted a whole bunch of jetpack fuel. These things right here, these little like poisonous things, they detonate if the monster hits them or if you shoot them too much. But for the most part, they're actually really good jumping off points for not using jetpack. And you can see that I'm accidentally using just a little bit when I'm trying to do that, but for the most part, you can actually get from high place to high place a little easier just by keeping these in mind. See, barely used up any jetpack and I'm already all the way over here from over there. So, like, looks like we have a wraith to deal with. I'll toss the dome and throw it again. We'll see if he bails. I don't think he's ready to yet. Now, since I'm hopping from high point to high point here, I'm actually a lot harder to hit. I can use the lip of the cliff as a defense mechanism to defend against abducts, to defend against rock throws, basically just to like get lots of height and that kind of thing. So this allows me to keep a high position while harassing the monster and just doing a ton of damage. And we all know how much we like tons of damage. So now, we're just going to chase this monster around a little bit. He doesn't seem to really know how to deal with the harpoons. Now we're keeping to the flat ground because it's just a little bit too much effort to get up to the high point. But if we can get up here, that's the decoy. Where's the real one? Not there. There. So we're going to use some of what we learned here to try to chase it while keeping good vision. And since we're cutting in the wrong direction here, we are going to lose it. But I can get up here pretty easily, and now I can see it's over there. Just pop over to this, and now I don't quite have enough to get up here, but I can get pretty close. And in fact, I was able to use the rest of my jetpack climb to get over there. So now I've got a high position. And what I'm doing here is I'm not chasing the race directly. I'm not following behind it. I'm actually moving along the inside of the map. So, like, if you'll see here, this wraith doesn't have anywhere to go in this direction. He can only move either this way or this way. So if I stick to these high positions on the inside of the map, I can see where he's going from various sight lines. And I can tell by basically how he sounds which direction he's going. Wasted a little too much time here, but I'm still able to keep on his butt pretty easily. Now we're going to do one last trick, which is we're just going to hold the dome for as long as possible. Let my opponent get a bunch of hits on him, and then we're going to throw it at the last possible second if we choose to. Which I don't think we need to. We can just continue to piss him off. So now he's using up his traversals. He's really not in very good shape. Okay, and I can't see him now, so I'm going to toss the dome. And he's in. Now, I can use these smaller platforms, or maybe these bigger ones, since I'm the one getting focused. Sunny can give me a little boost here, too. Now I'm up on the higher segments. So, to keep away from the Wraith, I'm going to try to stick to the high positions. When Sunny targets me with the Jetpack, I'm just going to boost straight up like this. And all that is just letting go of the directional buttons and tapping the spacebar. Nope. Now, when other players collide with you, they do knock you backwards just a little bit, so that can screw you up. Keep that in mind when you're trying to grab the lips of cliffs. But yeah, I've got this nice high spot. If the Wraith decides to go for me, I can jump to that spot over there, or I can move along this right here. If he tries to abduct me from below, I can back up and use this as a defense. So yeah, that's like sort of the basics of movement. I'm gonna write up a thing to sort of talk about this, but I wanted to do just a game to sort of demonstrate movement mechanics and how jetpacks work in general. There's a couple more things that I probably missed. I'll talk about them when I write up my post. But yeah, that was actually a lot of fun and went pretty well, I think. So I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.